Well, hello everyone, and welcome to the allotment tour, testing out the GoPro Hero 7 Black. And for those of you who have been looking for reviews of it, that are actually taking it around a garden or an allotment, the Tony C. Smith did one about 10 months ago, which has caught my attention. I thought it looked pretty good. I'm a little bit concerned about the sort of fisheye nature of the lens. I strongly suspect that when I've seen it not looking warped, that people have not had it on the wide lens setting, which is what it's currently on now, and 4K and 60 frames per second. So I may end up having to look at the options to just use it as normal. Now, one thing that I've noticed straight away that's annoying me is that the viewfinder switches off after a minute. Now, I went into the settings and selected never. I had an option of 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes and never, and it still just went almost out on me there after a minute. But one of the things that has cropped up in previous allotment tour videos by just using my old Panasonic camcorder with just normal stabilizing is that the surface I'm walking on here is quite uneven, and you get a lot of joggling around. And the screen's gone blank again after 2 minutes. I will definitely have to try and find out why that is and how I can fix it, because it is extremely annoying. It seems very strange to have an option like that, or rather a default setting like that, when you're recording. Surely the thing is clever enough to know that I'm recording and moving. I can understand that it would switch off if perhaps you're doing some kind of time-lapse thing and you're leaving your camera for hours and hours and hours. You wouldn't want the viewfinder on all the time for that, but I need it now to see what I'm framing. So it may be a novice mistake, but it just seems a strange thing to have as the default. And another novice thing that I'm not 100% certain about is, I think I read that I know the only option for the lens at 4K and 60 frames per second is wide on the lens setting. So I may well have to reduce down the number of frames to 30. I only picked 60 because I thought it would be smoother. I've seen examples of 60 frames per second on YouTube and they look incredibly smooth. But then 30 is probably perfectly fine. I'd say if the sort of fisheye effect annoys me too much, then I could just drop down to 4K 30 frames per second and a more narrow lens setting. I'm also testing out the audio here. This is the microphone that the GoPro has built into it. Which I'm hoping is okay. One small test prior to this, it did pick up an awful lot of background noise, and this allotment is quite close to a major road, which I can hear, and I'll be interested to see whether that's picked up in any great level. And I apologise for anybody who's watching this and was thinking, oh, I was rather interested to know about that plant or that vegetable or that fruit. I do have another channel which is dedicated to the allotment, which is Soil and Toil with David B. And that is really where the GoPro will be used on a regular basis from now on, because I'm fairly certain the smoothness of this is going to convince me over and above the warped nature of the view with the lens, as I think the central stuff is acceptable enough. And we'll just have a look around the dahlias. So if there are any GoPro experts out there watching this, and some of my quibbles have got answers, then please do come in with some comments, because this really is just my first proper video with it. And I have to say that it didn't come with an what I would call a manual. I think it was something safety instructions, and it was quite a big looking booklet until you realize that it was only about 6 pages of English and the rest was in lots of other different languages. So I imagine there's supposed to be a PDF somewhere online for instructions, but generally speaking I tend to go looking on YouTube for other people who've been testing it out. So hopefully other people have found this useful, and I will be reviewing it later to see what I think. Take care, bye for now.